What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Paragon deck build. Today I have a phase build for you, but before we get into that, don't forget to like and comment if you enjoy this video, and of course subscribe and share it with the community if you find it helpful. I'm in love with FaZe. She's just a fantastic support. Really enjoyed playing her, and I haven't taken a liking to any supports in the past. I think it's because you can be a little bit more involved in her, a little less passive in fights and stuff. And I've just got through a few games with her and absolutely dominated. And it's one of the most satisfying things doing well with a support. So today I'm going to bring you my deck build. Of course, this is just a recommendation. Any flair you guys want to throw in, absolutely do it. But this is my recommended deck build, and this is what's been working for me. So here we go. Okay, so right at the start of the game, you want to grab your dummy ward, which in this case is a Guardian's ward, just for extra health in case anything bad happens while you're putting it down. You grab the Guardian's ward, go back, and then you grab your health potion and healer token. This is for full support, by the way, in the right safe lane with a carry is what this is for. I don't know if you can play her anywhere else, to be honest. I imagine she's best there anyway. But yeah, you grab your health potion and healer token for the initial laning phase. The natural sustain should keep you in lane long enough. When you go back, you can either grab the Lord's Ward, which is here, or you can fully upgrade your Gift of the Rains or your Quenching Scales. Now, you have to kind of pick between these. I recommend Gift of the Rains first, because there's not going to be that much going on in the super early game. So I Gift of the Rains first, and then you pick up your Quenching Scales, whatever you think is necessary. And of course, discard your healer token and health potion as necessary when you get Gift of the Rains online, because you just won't need them. Whichever you go for, though, you must get your ward after Quenching and Gift are maxed if you don't have it already. Hopefully you can be given for getting it this late, as her pull allows for a bit of gank evasion early game anyway. When the burst damage isn't too high, it's quite viable. And a smart carry will pick up a ward first, or second card anyway, seeing as they no longer need healing items because they're laning with a phase. So it's a trade-off, Make sure you get that ward after you've got the gift and the Quenching Scales maxed out if you don't have it already. Now at this point, this is where we kind of get into phases mid to late game, to be honest, because obviously you never really get to 60 CP. I tend to end up at about 50, so this is where we're going next. The build now is really simple, as there's no more discarding to anything. You just keep adding to your arsenal when the points are available. I will say you can pick up the rest of the cards in any order, but I recommend you pick them up in the order that I'm going to tell you now. I think first you should go for Barrier of Will. Don't upgrade it, no point. Just grab that. You get the active without upgrading it, so that's a fantastic card to grab. Gives you that extra team shield during team fights, and it's just excellent. And then I always go for the Cast Converter, because that's like a hyper health potion basically. If you don't know what it does, I'll show you quickly. Consume 175 mana to gain 47.5 health regen for 10 seconds. Now FaZe has got fantastic mana regen as in her base stats, and everything you're adding has a little bit on as well. And your Quenching Scales, you've got 0.3 mana regen per second, so you should have no trouble with mana at all. I can't think of any time I've run out within any of my games. So yeah, you want to stick Cast Converter on. Use that in the middle of a fight, or if you just low, the cooldown's pretty short on it, so spam the hell out of it. And last but not least, you grab the Divine Shield, which is just a bit of protection for yourself, really. It adds some ability armor there for really late game if you get there. It's a spell block, so it blocks one enemy ability, usually at the start of an engagement, and that can be the difference between you getting stunned or whatever it is. So I think that's a fantastic card to have on now. Make sure you can do your stuff and keep your carry alive. So now you're probably wondering, what is the Teleblink for? Well, the Teleblink is kind of, if I had a side deck, I'd put it in there, because sometimes if you feel you need a little bit more mobility, you can bang this on when needed. It works out with the deck if you replace the Cast Converter with it, if you want to go 60 CP all the way up for this, but I wouldn't recommend that. That's just a teching card. I haven't used it yet, and obviously I've got a lot of space in the deck, so I thought I'd chuck it in just in case the opportunity comes around to use it. And that's the same with the Circlet of Health. I think early game, the health potion and healer token are just better, quite frankly. You don't get that global until you fully upgrade it, and you don't really need that mana, so it's a trade-off, but whatever you prefer in that case. So by slim chance you actually make it all the way to the end of the game. It's a really long game, like an hour long, and you get to 60 CP on your support. You can grab all the health in this Lord's Ward first. Once you've got all your cards online, all your actives, Divine Shield included, you should max out the health on this first, then maybe work on the armor, or if you really need it, the mana regen first. But grab all this health before you grab any armor, because it's just not worth it otherwise. I usually normally get the basic armor first, because obviously carries usually doing the most basic damage, and if you're getting Countess or something, she's picking on you, grab the ability armor. But yeah, so I'm going to throw a graphic up on screen now with what your early game build should look like, which is, okay, so your early game will be a health potion and a healer token. You move on from that. When you discarded those, you should have a ward and your Gift of the Rains or a Quenching Scales online. Absolutely up to you what you want to go for. Make sure you have that ward before you get into the mid game though. And then you go into the mid game, you have your ward, Gift of the Rains, Quenching Scales, and an unupgraded Barrier of Will. And then your final build, not upgraded. I'm showing about 50 CPs worth here of what you can do. You can get your ward, Quenching Scales, Barrier of Will, Cast Converter, Gift of the Rains, and the Divine Shield, and fully upgrade that Lord's Ward with all the health in there, and some cheeky mana regen on the Cast Converter. Anything after that, do with what you will, upgrade where you feel is necessary, and that is that. So guys, I think it's time to jump into some highlights with FaZe. Enjoy.